Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Iftika Mar'atu Salikah, and in this opportunity I would like to deliver the result of my mini research by the title Teaching Vocabulary to Young Learner Through Jengarum Game. In this mini research, I make a teaching media called Jengarum Game to teach vocabulary to young learner. After making teaching media, I aim to examine the engagement of Jengarum Game in teaching vocabulary to young learner. In this report, I will deliver the introduction and then the method used in this research, finding and discussion, also the conclusion. So, happy watching! Okay, so the first one, I would like to deliver the introduction. The background of this study is concerning on the vocabulary mastery. Vocabulary is one of the essential elements when we learn concerning on the language, as claimed by Thornbury 2002, that without grammar very little can be conveyed, and without vocabulary nothing can be conveyed. It shows that vocabulary is the essential part of the language. When a children learning English, the first thing they need to develop is their vocabulary mastery. This nowadays, introducing vocabulary can be started since the early age of the learner. One of the reasons is that young learners at the early age are easy to accept vocabulary since they have a good memorization. On the other hand, teaching vocabulary to young learners can be quite challenging for most teachers because it is so much different from teaching adults. Brown said that to successfully teach young learner requires specific skill and intuition that differ from those appropriate for adult teaching. Learning and teaching young learner is very different from adult because they are easily get bored and have attention span. Despite the challenge, however, young learners are highly potential language learners due to their stage of development called the critical period, a period where a language is learned optimally. Moreover, the learners are children who love to play and learn best when they are enjoying themselves. Nation state that a good vocabulary teaching technique has the following things. The first one, it interests the learner, and then the second, it makes the learner give attention to the form meaning or use the word. And then the third, it gives a chance for repetition. It affirms that choosing carefully and correctly method and technique which appropriate for children is the important things for teacher to consider. There are many methods and techniques to make English teaching learning process enjoyable and interesting. One of them is using game. A game has many benefits toward language learning. It offers students a fun-filled and relaxing learning atmosphere. After learning and practicing new vocabulary, students have opportunity to use the language in a non-stressful way. So, in relation to this, the researcher aimed to examine the use of Jengarum Game teaching media as one of the strategies to teach young learner vocabulary mastery. Okay, the second, I will explain the method and the technique used in this research. In this study, the qualitative research was applied by descriptive research to investigate how young learners were engaged during the implementation of Jengarum in teaching vocabulary. The descriptive method is used to present a broad range of research that has a general purpose to describe the situation of the event. Therefore, the method was used in this research because the researcher wanted to describe the engagement of Jengarum game in teaching vocabulary. The method used in this research to teach vocabulary mastery to young learner is Jenga room game. At the beginning, the researcher will make a teaching media Jenga room, and after that, apply this teaching media to teach vocabulary and observe whether young learners are engaged to study vocabulary using this media. The disciplines of this teaching media is concerning on the basic vocabulary for beginner level that aims students comprehend on the dining room vocabulary. The preparation time needed to make Jenga game is around 40 minutes. In addition, the researcher needs 5 minutes to prepare the students, make a group, and explain to them how to play, since this game will be played in group. So, the next one, I will explain to you about the materials needed and the tools needed to make a Jenga room teaching media, and after that I will show you the procedure to play the Jenga room and how to make the Jenga room teaching media. The materials needed to make Jenga room are 2 pieces of styrofoam, printed picture, printed vocabulary, printed paperboard, Jenga blocks, a box, scissor, cutter, ruler, and double tip. First, you need to prepare all the materials needed and then cut the printed vocabulary of things in the dining room and the word sorry try again with the scissor. After that, stick the printed vocabulary to the Jenga blocks. And then, cut all the printed picture of things in the dining room using the scissor. And then, we can cut the label of things in the dining room using the scissor, and after that we can stick it on the box to place the picture. The next step is stick the printed paperboard using the double tip to the styrofoam board. Well done, teaching media Jenga room is ready to be played. Okay, now I will explain regarding the procedure to perform Jenga room. First of all, we need to split the class into 2 groups. But if the class is large, we can make a group consist of 3 or 5 people. And then each group will be given a board to place the picture. The group will determine who will play first using rock, paper, and scissors. And then each group member will make a line in front of the Jenga. And then the first player taking 1 block and see if there is a printed vocabulary of things in the dining room or the word sorry try again. if they got the printed vocabulary, they must find the match picture and place it on the board. But if they got the word sorry, try again, they can try in the next turn. And then the last procedure is the game will end if the tower falls, and then after that we count the picture on the board. The group that has more picture on their board will be the winner. And that's all procedure to play the Jenga room. You are going to do rock, paper, and scissors to determine who will play first. Are you ready, guys?
Ready.
Okay, let's go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, so Lala will be play first. Okay, now you will take one block, and if you find a vocabulary, you can find the match picture and put it on your board. But if you find the word sorry, try it. You can try in the next turn. Okay, ready guys?
Ready.
Okay, let's go. Okay, very good. What you got, Lala?
Yes, tower.
Okay, find the picture. You got it? Okay, good. Okay, now the next turn, Salva, you can take the blocks. Careful. Okay, good. What did you got?
Yes, monkey.
Okay, find the picture. Okay, very good. Be careful.
Yes.
Okay, find the picture. Oh no! Okay, the game is over. Okay, the game is over because the tower is falling. Okay, the next one is data collection and analysis. The instrument used for collecting data is observation and documentation. The researcher observed the entire process of teaching learning activity and used observation to see the students' vocabulary achievement in the ongoing process of treatment of qualitative design. To get the data, researcher took a part in activities in the setting researcher observed. After collecting the data from observed teaching learning activity, the data were analyzed qualitatively to find how students engage in the activity. The next one is finding and discussion. The researcher found that students had a positive response in teaching and learning activities through Jenga room game. It can be seen that they are enjoying and having fun while learning the vocabularies. In addition, in the teaching and learning process, the learner tend to be involved in activities. For example, they are mentioned vocabulary word in the block, and after that they try to guess the picture that match the vocabulary. Jenga room teaching media also make young learner more competitive. They try hard to win the game, so they will always try to guess the picture correctly. It makes them memorize the word and the things in the dining room clearly. Moreover, the researcher also found that Jenga room game carry out some positive impact to young learner in comprehend the vocabulary. Before the use of Jenga room teaching media, young learner only knew a few vocabulary and oftenly mistaken to show the correct picture. But after a few rounds playing Jenga room game, they master all the vocabulary and they remember very well the word and the picture matches. Okay, the last one is conclusion. The result of the observation shows that young learners were engaged during the implementation of the Jenga room game in teaching vocabulary. Jenga room teaching media is considered as an effective media that bring positive impact to young learners. It makes them easy to memorize the vocabulary and the picture. They also enjoy learning vocabulary through this game and make them more competitive and involved to the activities. Based on the result of this study, the researcher has some suggestions. The first one, for the English teacher, a teacher should be creative and able to vary their technique in teaching language. Also, teacher can try to use this Jenga room teaching media to teach vocabulary. One of the important factors to apply this teaching media is that everything needs to be well prepared and well organized so that the teaching and learning activity can be effective to young learner. And then the second suggestion for the young learner, Jenga room can improve your English vocabulary, and the student should always practice to use their English vocabulary in their daily life. Okay, so that's all the result of my mini research by the title Teaching Young Learner Vocabulary through Jenga room teaching media. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.